Sometimes we're given opportunities to improve our lives. Those chances may be in the form of a job, a school choice, a new path involving faith, or simply what we feel is important to us at that exact time in our life. These opportunities can also be in the form of a choice. Yes, no choice, turn right or left, go or stop. At 14, I was given a choice. The choice that doctors gave me was to fight or to give in. Fighting to me meant using what teenage growth potential I had left in my body to fix my spine on my own to avoid having metal rods placed in my back for the rest of my life. At that moment, I lived in potential fear. I had never broken a bone or had any surgery. I was told I would have to wear a back brace for 2 years, taking it off only to shower or to sleep. I just wanted to know where to start and how to start. For me, it meant rehabilitation at first, and then exercise. I turned to fitness and nutrition. Those were my two biggest things. For the following 2.5 years, I spent so much time studying nutrition and exercise that it became a passion. What is critical to understand is that in the beginning, those two topics were foreign to me, but I was slowly evolving that ignorance into wisdom. At age 17, my last doctor's appointment, I was told that I wouldn't have to wear that back brace anymore, and then I would not have to have the metal rods placed in my spine either. Of course, I wanted to hear that answer. Of course, I wanted to know that my years of hard work got me to that ultimate goal achievement. However, I felt empty. I felt like I had crossed a finish line, but I wasn't done running and I wasn't done fighting. You see, what most people don't understand is that nutrition and exercise is a lifestyle. When somebody truly says it's a lifestyle change, it means that they are dedicated to it for the rest of their lives. They may still mess things up along the way. You know, you may screw things up with your diet, nutrition, anything that you might be dedicated to that is a lifestyle change. No one's perfect, right? But the big takeaway is that that person accepts that new path. When you see improvements in your life, you don't want to stop. So I didn't. From this point, I contacted names I read about in the magazines. At the time, it was Lee Haney, Chris Aceto. First was Lee Haney. He offered personal training appointments at his gym in Midtown Atlanta for $250 an hour. Mind you, this was 1997, so you can't compare that to today when athletes at that same level are charging $1,000 and up. But I used this as an opportunity to get him to work with me. Our first workout was an upper body workout. After that workout, we went to his office. Of course, I got the t-shirt, literally. It said, "I train with Lee." I shared my story with him up to that point and how my desire was to compete in bodybuilding and see how far I could take my success and challenge myself. Lee said he was very busy, but he asked if I could come back that next day and train legs with him. I mentioned to him that we really couldn't afford to pay for another session. And shortly after those words left my mouth, he leaned forward and said, "I didn't say you had to pay me." So of course that was an amazing thing to hear. And I couldn't sleep that night. I came back the next day and I really impressed him with that leg workout. At 18 years old, I was leg pressing 1,200 pounds. And this was on a vertical leg press. And for those of you who don't know the vertical leg press, you lay on your back like astronauts do when they take off in a spaceship, and you unlock the latches and all this weight now comes down at you. So if you get stuck, it's game over. Those old school machines are actually outlawed now. It's very hard to find them unless you go to a hardcore gym because of all the risk factor involved. But what I didn't mention earlier is that when we were walking into the gym, he was pulling into the gym as well. So we walked in together. He didn't go to his office. He didn't go anywhere else. We went straight to the gym floor. After the workout, when we went back to his office, he unzipped his fanny pack and pulled out a workout program and a diet program for me. Now, what is important about this for me was that he already made his decision to help me. His decision was in that fanny pack around his waist the entire time. It was up to me to have the courage to get the job done that day during that leg workout. Now, fast forward my story a little bit. My next step was to pursue Chris Aceto, a world-renowned nutritionist. Now that I had Lee Haney on my resume, I wanted to go after him to help me with my diet. Chris had nutritional seminars for up to 4 people on his yacht in Fort Lauderdale in the wintertime. We secured one of those spots for me, and I used that as an opportunity for me to share my story. Now with Lee Haney on my resume, in hopes that Chris would help me. To make a long story even longer, he took me under his wing. 4 months later, I was a teenage national champion. I got second when I was 19. That was it at that time for me in terms of competitions at that point. I turned my life into a business, opening a personal training gym, having trainers work at my gym, helping numerous clients from all over the world realize their fitness goals, supported with nutritional education, of course, and stability. As I said before, it's all about lifestyle. There is no real finish line. But when you reach your goals, staying healthy will become an addiction to you, as it did for me. Fast forward 15 years later. I crawled out from under the competition rock and became runner-up world champion in the division where we turned pro. I've always had a passion for helping others, and I feel that I am a product of my product. I understand what it's like to travel with food. I understand what it's like to be too busy and not want to eat or be able to eat. I understand what it's like to be the guy in the room full of executives eating steak and you don't want to be that one guy eating a salad. I get it. I'm here to help, and I want to be your go-to and stand with you and lead you as you make those changes you've always wanted to make in your life and to empower you to sustain them.